Today we are talking about lesson 31, flowchart and paragraph proofs. We are now talking about part 3. The question for part 3 asks us to write a two-column proof from the given paragraph proof. So we need to know what a paragraph proof is. So we can go on to define a paragraph proof is a style of proof in which statements and reasons are presented in paragraph form. In the paragraph proof, every step of the proof must be explained by a sentence in the paragraph. Each sentence contains a statement and a justification. So one of the reasons you would want to use this is it gives you a little bit more freedom in how your proof is written. So you are writing it as a sentence, which allows you to add more of your personal writing style into the proof. And so here, every step of the proof must be explained by a sentence in the paragraph. So we do not have a defined length of the paragraph. It is just as long as you need it to be to actually complete the proof. So here we have use the given paragraph proof to write a two-column proof. You are given that angles 1 and 2 are complementary, and you're trying to prove that angle 3 and angle 4 are complementary. So here, with the first sentence of the paragraph, you have this angle 1 and angle 2 are complementary. So measure of angle 1 plus measure of angle 2 is equal to 90 by definition of complementary angles. So here we have the given information. We have this given information, just doesn't say why it is given. So angle 1 and angle 2 are complementary, given. So we just took that from this first sentence, and the reason why is because it's right here, it's given to us. So the second statement is, so measure of angle 1 plus measure of angle 2 is equal to 90 degrees. That is our statement. Now our justification or our reason is that the definition of complementary angles. That's the definition of complementary angles. The next sentence says angle 1 is congruent to angle 4 and angle 2 is congruent to angle 3. So here it says angle 1 and angle 4 are congruent, angle 2 and angle 3 are congruent by the vertical angles theorem. So all we did was we took this first part. Angle 1 is congruent to angle 4. Angle 2 is congruent to angle 3. And then our justification is vertical angles theorem. So measure of angle 1 is equal to measure of angle 4, and measure of angle 2 is equal to measure of angle 3. So measure of angle 1 is equal to measure of angle 4, and measure of angle 2 is equal to measure of angle 3. We took that from right there. And the reason for that is that it is the definition of congruent angles. Then we use substitution. So substitution property of equality. So here, by substitution. So you can put the justification before the statement if you would like in your paragraph proofs. So by substitution, measure of angle 4 plus measure of angle 3 is equal to 90 degrees. Measure of angle 3 plus measure of angle 4 is equal to 90 degrees. We just took that piece of information, put it in our statements. Therefore, angle 3 and angle 4 are complementary. Angle 3 and angle 4 are complementary by the definition of complementary angles. Definition of complementary angles. So now let's go back to the question. Let's go back to the question for this, this part. And it says we have been given that angles 1 and angle 4 are complementary. We want to prove that angle 2 and angle 3 are complementary. So you have that these two are complementary, 1 and 4. So we draw our big T. Angle 1 and angle 4 are complementary. That is what we have been given. Angle 1 is complementary. To angle 4. That is given. So measure of angle 1 plus measure of angle 4 is 90 degrees. Measure of angle 1 plus measure of angle 4 is equal to 90 degrees. By the definition of complementary angles. Definition of complementary angles. Angle 1 is congruent to angle 3, and angle 2 is congruent to angle 4. So this is angle 1 is congruent to angle 3. Angle 2 is congruent to angle 4. By the vertical angles theorem. Vertical angles theorem. Therefore, measure of angle 1 is equal to measure of angle 3. Measure of angle 1 is equal to the measure of angle 3. And measure of angle 2 is equal to measure of angle 4. Measure of angle 2 is equal to the measure of angle 4. By the definition of congruent angles. Definition of congruent angles. And M2 plus M3 is, measure of angle 2 plus measure of angle 3 is equal to 90 degrees. Measure of angle 3 plus the measure of angle 2 is equal to 90 degrees by substitution. Substitution. Property of equality. Therefore, and this is our final step, we're trying to prove that the two angles are complementary. So we have angle 2. 2 is complementary. Complementary to angle 3 by the definition of complementary angles. That is it for part 3. I hope to see you soon for part 4.